Ross, it's been a long wait over the pre-season. We finished last year with momentum with the last win round 24. You're hoping that carries over to this year?
Yeah. Hope's important for footy clubs, isn't it? And hope springs eternal. So, look, it doesn't feel like it's been a long time. It feels like from when the players get back, I think it's like early December, like our senior group, December 5, then you get 3 weeks and 3 weeks off, and then you're back for about an 8-week period. So it's a really compressed period of time, and we've had to work, as all clubs do, really hard to dive into while they're training their footy in the education space and try and develop a system of play in the different phases of the game. So it's not without challenge. And look, we're going really well, and then we've had, we've got a few out, nearly all of our forward line, but that's mostly due, I think they're all impact injuries, really, or legacy issues with some joints. So, been a bit of frustration at the end, but everyone that's playing's had a really big summer, pretty fit, they're available, and, we'll have a number of debutants, I would think. And like, for the record, Mitch Owens, we thought he would get up, but he just feels like he needs another week, so we won't risk him. Well, not even risk, he's not ready. So, a little bit of disappointment there, but we move on pretty quick. Max King's making ground, he'll run again today. So, Liam Henry is, basically ready, but he's got to get a bit of match condition. So, there's some positive stuff on the outside of the group, but we're squarely focused on Adelaide, who are really fit and available. Clearly huge expectation on them. Nick's going into his 6th year, and they're available and they're recruited heavily as a home game. So, so it's a formidable opponent.
You mentioned that compressed period and a few of the boys that are not going to be there. Jack Sinclair, Rowan Marshall, do they need to tick off anything today or so? No,
they're good. They've had massive summers, in particularly Sinclair. Rowe was booming. He had that little bit of a back thing for a little period of time, but he's had an enormous amount of work. So, he'll come in. Sinclair's no problem. Wood's no problem. So we're pretty good like that. It's more just the front half and Howard out of the back half.
Just on that compressed period, you get some injuries over summer. Is it out of whack the amount of time you get with the players in pre-season, or do you think that needs to be looked at, particularly now the opening round, and just how quickly it all ramps up?
Look, I've tapped out of the media news cycle, because there's so much of it, but a little bit sort of lands on your desk where there's a bit of noise from some clubs. I think it's an opinion business. I think it's struck a nice balance. And in particular, I think what's happened is, the organisations, whether it be head office or the AFL, PA, we've got the Indigenous All-Star game, which we love, but there's less post-Christmas coming and taking training days off us when we don't get many, so... I feel like it's struck a nice balance.
You mentioned you might have a couple of debutants who are able to confirm any of them today. Boxall, Boyd, Max Hall, any of those guys a chance at debut? Yeah,
they're a chance, but we can't. We're process driven, right? So we've got our biggest session of the week, our most intense session. I've learned over a long period of time, things move pretty quickly. So even to the point like this morning, you think Owens is training, now he's not. So things move quickly. So I can't confirm anything until we get through unscathed. And then obviously we'll have some exciting announcements.
You mentioned hope springs eternal. We saw with Richmond last night, sort of how even and crazy this competition can be. What's your message to Saints fans who there's been a lot of chatter in the media saying that Saints might not go as well as many people think this year? What's your message to them after seeing what Richmond did last night and how anything's possible?
Yeah, well, I watched White Lotus last night, so I'm waiting for the next episode. I'm not sure it's good as the early White Lotuses, but I'm still enjoying it. Thailand. But I didn't hear anything to this morning. Caught a meme, but so. I think it talks to how tough the competition is. I thought it talks to efficiency and taking opportunities, exiting the ball out of your D50, like if you want to get specific. But certainly anything's possible, and I think statistically we're as young as Richmond. I think until we drafted Boyd, we were third youngest. So, but we haven't lived in that space. Like we've played a final series. You mentioned Adelaide. this will be their 6th year, I think, and then the Dockers have had 1 in 10. So we feel we've shifted quickly. That's the facts, the base. Doesn't really, well, it doesn't interest me, but I can't control people's opinions. But everyone's got different views, right? In the end, you've got to write your own story. So you did that in 23, back half of 24 better, but last moments don't count. The only thing that counts is next moment. So there's always results happening within games, ebbs and flows and momentum swings and injuries and reports and all that. You just got to handle it all. But we're just in a space of, and my whole coaching model is about continuous improvement and a growth mindset. Nothing's fixed. So you just got to do the work. Now, does the wheel turn quickly or slowly? Well, sometimes it's a bit of both, depending on what happens. So what we know from where we are now, there's this group, if you're talking to Saints fans, like with 30 or 40 games in them, it's going to be incredibly exciting. But in the short period of time, we think with everyone available and playing great footy, we can win lots of games because, to your point, the competition's pretty even.
Just finally extend your contract out another year for this year. What does that say to you, the faith that the club has in you to see this project out?
Well, I think it's self-evident, isn't it? But look, I've been an AFL coach for a period of time, and it was interesting to see Chris Scott, Chris, there's a Freudian slip, Brad Scott. And I thought his words, like he didn't ask for it, but it's a good sign of faith through action. And it's probably supporting the strategy that's been executed on or that's emerged organically of the facts base, like a lot of change, stayed very competitive with the final series, put as many games into 21 and under as almost any club in the competition. So I think it's recognition of the profile, the shifts. And that's just the surface, what you see. Underneath, there's been a lot done, whether it be in sports science, medical, coaching panel, got Bolton, Enright, Rivers. So there's been a lot of change and a lot of positivity, and it just talks to Ross, well, if you keep executing in the same manner, in the same environment, with the same effort, we'll continue to support you. But I don't take that for granted. I know, we continually get judged and challenged. So, but we like that, right? Everyone, we want to be a club that's a serious footy club, and everyone's accountable. We're not walking past anything on accountability here. So, and certainly I feel that as well. Thank you.
Happy to help.